welcome to Sport Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Kinsley Emmanuel, and I'm very, very happy to be here this evening to bring you up to speed with the latest revolving around the world of sports. Top on our menu this evening, we shall take a look at the decisions of the decision of the NFF, that's the Nigerian Football Federation, on Victor Osimhen after verbal attack on former head coach of the Super Eagles, Fernando George, as well as the latest results from the Hero 2024 in Germany. Promises to be an exciting one on the show, so we'll urge you to sit tight as we're very ready to bring you up to speed with all that you need to know evolving around the water sports this evening. We'll take a short break, and when we'll come back, of course, we'll take you through all that we have for you this evening. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought a very family.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network, and joining me on today's edition of the show to do justice to the issues we have on our menu this evening is Emmanuel Michael. Michael, good evening to you, and welcome to another exciting edition of Sport Extraordinary.
Yeah, good evening to you, Kingsley, and good evening to our viewers out there. Always a delight to do this with you.
All right, let's quickly take a look at the, the national trials, ahead of for the Olympics down here in Nigeria. The men and women's 400 meters finals of the 2024 Athletic Federation of Nigeria national trials stayed up offsets on the final day as the University of Michigan athlete Duben Amene won the men's title while Esther Joseph emerged as the winner in a strong women's final yesterday. The women's final was the first to thrill the crowd as African Games silver medalist Joseph clocked 51.70 seconds to win her first national title. She head off a late charge from Precious Okon George, who finished second in 51.76 seconds, and Imabong Soko and a season best of 52.04 seconds in that particular race. Michael, what do you make of that performance, from Joseph?
I think it was an impressive one from Joseph. Looking at the race of stars that was actually on the same track with him, I want to say yes, it was an impressive display from Joseph out there. And this is what we love to see. We love to see some new names emerging for the Nigerian Athletic Federation, because it's going to go a whole long way to add more feeder, to add more strength, to the arrays of stars that we have already. So for me, I think I'm very, very happy that not just the usual names that should have emerged victorious, because when you have the usual names always come out victorious, it simply means that other athletes are not living up to the expectation. They are not also giving the favorite names a run for their money. But when you have new names, you're also breaking the jinx, doing the unthinkable by upstaging some of these big names. Then it simply means that it's a healthy rivalry and it's a healthy competition. That is how you get to pick the best out of the talent, out of the enormous squad that we have already, that is going to do us proud at the Paris Olympic Games. So for me, I think it's an impressive one for Joseph.
Impressive one for Joseph. In the men's final also created another thrilling spectacle as Amene won his first national title, clocking a time of 45.44 seconds. He beat Emmanuel Ojili in a season best of 45.69 seconds, while his brother Duben Machku, who posted a season best of 45.70 seconds, was third. And in the men's 200 meters final, Sunday Israel Okon pulled upset in the men's final, storming to a new personal best of 20.80 seconds to win the race. He defeated Alaba Kintola, who was second in 20.81 seconds, while Consider Kanem followed in third in 20.88 seconds down there. Michael, what do you make of for that impressive performance, from Sunday Joseph, putting up, a performance, ahead of the likes of, Ekanem Consider in this one?
More like going back to the same question you've asked me, which I've already elucidated and enumerated the need for us to have a new name, or living up to the stage out there. So for me, it's nothing different other than seeing a new name also emerging, coming first in that very one, away from the regular names, away from the regular big name, maybe the likes of Consider Ekanem and the rest also, coming third in that very one. So like I said earlier, I think it's a massive leap, an improvement for him. Let's hope that he continue to gain this popularity and gain this fame, because it's going to be a good one for the Nigerian Athletic Federation.
A good one for the Nigeria Athletic Federation, and we'll see how far, of course, this one will go in helping them. Precious Ezeoku also took the women's title in a new personal best of 23.14 seconds. She edged Olayinka Olajide, who was second in a personal best of 23.17 seconds, while Ella Ojuvo was third in 23.73 seconds down there. Let's stay away from that as we take a look at other matters still in athletics. The sport minister John Owan Eno said that the ministry will lead Team Nigeria's athletes to Douala, Cameroon, for the Confederation of African Athletics Senior Championship, which begins on the 21st of June. The minister made this known in Benin City while addressing athletes and officials of the Athletic Federation of Nigeria at the Sam Bumudia Stadium. Michael, what do you make of the level of support so far from the sport ministry to the athletes?
I think for me it's quite amazing, one that really deserve that attention from what the sport minister have done so far since he came on board. I think for me he's been working around every angle of sporting strata to ensure that there is a healthy improvement of what he met on ground, and that is why he's putting every effort necessary from every angle, from all aspects, to ensure that we have the best of preparation while waiting for the Paris Olympic game. And you can't take away the fact that the senator, talking about John Owan, the sport minister, he's also on ground. At least he understands what it means to give our athletes proper preparation before heading for a major tournament such as the Olympic game. Yesterday, he made that statement at Benin City out there. Our contingent that was supposed to go and represent us, or that is built to represent us in the African Athletic Championship, they were supposed to go by water yesterday, but then I think the sport minister also, in his quest to make sure he give the athlete a proper preparation, that is why the sport minister has actually promised that instead of traveling through sea, that they are going to board a flight. So, which for me I think is quite, nice. It is a gesture that we must also appreciate. Instead of going through the fear of passing through water, at least it makes it very easy for them to board a flight and get there to Douala, where the competition will be held. I think for me it's a nice one. The step being taken by the sport minister is a clear indication and a testament that he needs the best. He needs the best of preparation, because if you have the best of preparation heading for a major tournament, then there is this confidence and hope that will be basking among the sport lovers out here, especially our athletes, that indeed they will definitely go out there in the Paris Olympic game and come out in a flying color. And how do we come out with a flying color if we don't have a proper preparation, if we don't have to treat this athlete with proper care, provide their need as I went do, but you have a hope of making a good impact at the Paris Olympic game only if we have proper preparation, proper planning ahead of the Mondial. So for me, I think the senator must be given thumbs up for what he has been doing so far since he came on board, not just for the athletic federation only. He's making sure in every ramification of the sporting arena to ensure that there is an even developing massive improvement in terms of infrastructure, in terms of organizational structure, in terms of catering for the welfare of the sportsmen and women. So for me, I give it up to the senator. Let's hope that different sporting federations as well, their chairman, head of staffs as well, should also work in synergy, work in collaboration with the sport minister, with his lofty vision and idea towards repositioning sports in the nation. I think he needs this support from the sporting head to ensure that at least we get to that point where we say, yes, this federation truly deserve to be given their flowers. And the sport minister cannot achieve all of this alone if he lacks the proper support and backing from the different head that is heading the different sport ministry.
We keep our fingers crossed and see how far, of course, the athletes will perform down there in Cameroon. We hope for the best for them, but also for the preparation ahead of the Olympic Games as well. We hope that they get down there and being able, of course, to get the job done and dusted. Been an impressive ride, of course, for Nigerian athletes this year, putting up some impressive performance, and we hope they can also go down to the Olympics, and get things done and dusted. A lot of expectation on the Athletic Federation of Nigeria. Mike, taking a look at the fact that the last time in Tokyo, talking about the last Olympics, was not a favorable outing at all, for them. But from what we've seen so far on ground, taking a look at their performance and the level of preparation, you think we'll be able to amass, a lot of medals from the athletics events at the Olympics?
I think so. I think so, and that is why, if you listen to the sport minister carefully last week, he also made mention of this, the need for Nigerian contingent, especially the athletic federation as well, and our athletes to also, also surpass the massive achievement we got out there in the 1996 Olympic Games, where we actually were able to stake our claim out there in the international scene. So the sport minister was talking about that there's need for us to regain back that confidence, regain back our place of pride, and that is why he's putting everything necessary. And for the athletes as well, talking about our Nigerian athletes, you can also say that they are also, they've also improved their trade, they've also improved their craft out there, because if you look at some of the big names, what they've actually achieved so far this year, I think if I would be correct to say that we are very hopeful that indeed they are going to give us something to cheer home about when the Paris Olympic game officially start. Because if you go by what we did at the African Championship out there in Ghana, where most of our athletes actually came up top in their different respective hits out there, want to say yes, there's hope for us. Take a look at the international scene as well. Some of the competition that most of our foreign-based athletes have participated, they've continued to maintain that status quo of going upward trajectory in terms of improvement of their performance as well. Take a look at Toby Amosho as well, doing pretty well. So I think for me, the fine form of our athletes so far this season would be a clear indication that that is what we are going to expect at the Paris Olympic game. Though we know that the Olympic game is a different stage, it's a different platform away from the All-African game or the national trial here, because that is the biggest podium, is the biggest sport platform where most sportmen and women always want to showcase their talent. They will be having some other big names out, the likes of Camacho Queen, the likes of Cedric Jackson, the likes of William. We have so many stars that will be competing against at the Paris Olympic Games. So they just need to be at their best, to ensure that at least they make their form count when the Paris Olympic game start off officially.
Let's say it goes to hope for the best, for Nigerian athletes ahead of the Olympic Games in Paris. But away from that, we hear that Nigerian number one, Aruna Quadri, has been confirmed to miss the World Table Tennis contender in Lagos for the second consecutive year following an injury. Michael, what do you make of the absence of Aruna Quadri in the World Table Tennis Championship in Lagos once again?
Well, I think it's not a good one, not a good sign for us, but then it is also an opportunity, you may want to say, maybe a blessing in disguise. Why did I say so? Haruna Quadri has been the one that flying the flag of Nigeria. I think we need a second or even third or even fourth Haruna Quadri to come on board so that he can be able to also take up responsibility, take up the mantle of leadership, because Haruna Quadri is not going to be there forever. Time will come where, he will call it quits in the sports. Which other name that rings into your mind as a possible replacement for Haruna Quadri? I think I've looked around, I've searched, I've not seen any name that is able to replicate what Haruna Quadri is doing and can be able to wear that same shoe. So, in as much as he's out injured in this very one, but then it's an opportunity for another player as well to take up this advantage and showcase himself to the world out there. Because if he do take this advantage and put up a good performance, they will begin to pay much attention to him, because possibly just he might be the person to take up the mantle of leadership when Haruna Quadri finally, leave the stage. So, but then one interesting angle and one thing positive about this injury is that he said that he want to, rest and treat the injury properly so that he can be fit for the Paris Olympic Games. So there is hope that Haruna Quadri will definitely attend the Paris Olympic Games. That is why I say that it might be like a blessing in disguise. Let another name come up and take the place of Haruna Quadri for this very one. Let's see what he can be able to bring to the table. So for me, in as much as I'm not happy that he's not going to be part of this one, but then I think other people should also take advantage of it. We still have some of our big names there, the likes of Fatima Bello, Ofyong Edem, these are some of the big names as well that will be taking part in this very one. And you know that we have foreign players that is also coming for this very one, which makes it even more, you know, intriguing and more exciting for some of these players out there. But then I think the absence of Haruna Quadri is a major setback for us in this very one.
A huge setback for Nigeria, and we hope that maybe the likes of Fatima Bello and Efyonge them, of course, you know, will showcase their progress to see how, you know, they can put Nigeria on the limelight.
Yeah, definitely. You know, taking a look at the ranking, the world ranking, Fatima Bello and Efyonge them, they've not, you know, been doing pretty well in terms of the world ranking. But then you can't also undermine or underrate their, you know, exploit. You can't underrate what they've done, you know, so far, what they've brought to the table in terms of the game. But then there's need for them to improve. But these are some of the big names, the best hands that we have. Haruna Quadri, Fatima Bello, Efyonge them. So I believe they have what it takes to also square up against some of these foreign players that will be taking part in this very one. Only if they show passion and dedication, I see them coming out, you know, top in that very one. Because home advantage, you may want to say, might also count in this very one.
Home advantage, of course, will count in this very one, and we'll see how far the likes of Fatima Bello and the rest of course, the players talk about the likes of Efyonge them, of course, will go in this one. But away from that, Michael, we hear that Emma Raducanu, of course, has been given a white card to participate at this year's Wimbledon.
Yeah, good one. Despite the fact that, you know, his pecking order in the world ranking now is not that good, but then I think he's one of the big names that most of the fans out there want to see. And that is why most of the fans will be very, very happy to see this big name. Because what makes a competition very exciting, very thick, very intriguing is about the big names that take part in it. When you don't have some of these big names in some of these major tournaments, then the interest of the fans might be watered down because of the fact that they are not going to have, you know, their favorite name, you know, to grace the court out there to do what they know how to do best. But then I think it's a great one for Emma Raducanu to for him to get a wild card to participate in this very one. I think it would also serve as a way of motivating his fans, her fans out there, to also continue to cheer her to victory. It's a nice one, getting a white card.
Nice one for Emma Raducanu getting the white card, of course, ahead of the Wimbledon. But we'll take a look at her performance over time. You know, do you see Emma Raducanu standing very strong, you know, in this particular one, or probably it will be the usual first round, second round, or third round elimination in this one?
For me, I've never taken Emma Raducanu very serious. You know why? Because most time when you expect her to at least up her game, she doesn't, you know, up her hand there, and that is why she has found herself, you know, in a very static position. And generally, when you talk about the British player, it looks as though they are, you know, fading away. They are fading away. In the last 12 months, most of these British players, they have not been able to live up to the expectations. So I think it has also affected her performance as well. But I tell you, Emma Raducanu is not a player that you can bank on and say, yes, you're 100% sure that she's going to deliver when it matters most. So I'm not taking, you know, this one very serious, because looking at her track record, there's nothing that will tell me that she might possibly get to the final of this very one. She might get knocked out in the first set, in the first game as well, and that won't surprise me, because we have seen it in time past where she was unable to at least, you know, live up to the expectation.
Let's say it goes for Emma Raducanu. A lot, of course, has really happened to the young lady, and talk about, you know, ankle injuries and all of that, even wrist injuries. So we saw happen to her the last time, and there's been issue of, you know, her changing coaches, you know, not being consistent, you know, with the coach. What could be the root? What do you think could be the root cause of Emma Raducanu problem? Because we saw her 3 seasons ago, where she actually went down to the finals of the Grand Slam against Lena Fernandez, and up to this moment, it has not been the same Emma Raducanu. What could be, you know, the root cause of Emma Raducanu's slow pace, you know, at the moment?
You just already answered the question before asking the question. Injury has not been a good one, Then again, frequent changing of coaches is also not a good idea for me, because if you keep changing coaches every now and then a new coach will come with a different tactics. You have to take time to adapt to it. When you look as though you're adapting to the philosophy of that coach, boom, you know, she fires the coach and bring in the next one. I still start to, you know, learn afresh different skills from the new coach before you could stabilize in the new coach's antics and game plan. Boom, she sacks the next coach and brings it. So all of this inconsistency of coaches is, for me, one of the reasons that she has not been able to hit her peak. Then again, injury, you know, whenever you are hit with injury, not one, not twice, you know, there's this tendency that you begin to, you know, depreciate in form, and that is exactly what is happening to Emma Raducanu.
That's a very good one at this point. Apart from Emma Raducanu, Japan, Naomi Osaka, Denmark's Caroline Wozniacki, and Germany, Angelique Kerber, who won the 2018 Wimbledon title, have also been invited to play. White cards are given by the All England club to players who are not ranked high and also qualify directly into the main draw. Raducanu is still on the comeback trail after missing most of last year, including Wimbledon, after wrist and ankle surgeries. Osaka, Kerber, and Wozniacki have all returned to the tour in the past year after giving British player Heather Waxen, Fran Jones, and Lene Miyasaki have also been awarded white cards to the women's single. All 7 of the initial white cards for the men's singles have been given to British players. Now, Liam Brody, who has reached the 3rd round in each over the past 2 years, had the list as well. So we have Caroline Wozniacki, Angelique Kerber, Michael. Naomi Osaka was so, you know, her prowess, you know, and a level of performance in the French Open, where she gave Iga Swiatek, you know, a very tough time. This is another moment where she has to prove herself. What do you make of, you know, her presence this time, given a white card, and how far do you think she will go this time?
How far she can go this time still remain a big question. She needs to answer on the court. I can't sit here to answer that question on how far she can go. But then, taking a look at her last performance, you know, you want to say yes, she's possibly, you may want to say, gradually regaining back that magical touch. She's gradually regaining back that, you know, mojo from her. You know, looking at what she did in the last competition out there. And this is a lady that is just coming out from maternity leave. You know, it takes you a long time for you to get that 100% fitness, especially coming back as from a maternity leave. So for me, I think that she is going to consolidate on her last performance, where she did pretty well. Not too bad for a lady that is just coming back from maternity leave. Was able to give some of these big names a run for their money, but then unfortunately she was hosted out of the competition. Now this is another big opportunity for her to also continue to build her comeback very strong. So for Naomi Osaka, great player any day, anytime. We know her pedigree, what she has been able to achieve in this game. So if she can continue to build on her last form, on her last you know, outing, then there is the possibility that she might simply go find this very one. But then lifting the trophy is something that I cannot sit here and say. But one thing is very certain: Naomi Osaka will definitely go find this very one.
Let's go. But at this point, we'll take a short break, and we'll come back from the break. We'll bring you the latest revolving around the world of football. So we talk about Victor Osimhen, the hammer of the NFF, that's the Nigerian Football Federation, is dangling to land on him, you know, following the verbal attack on former coach of the Super Eagles, Finidi. To talk about that, we'll make a return from the break. Stay right back.
Went for goal. Goalkeeper missed it.
Like again.
Fight there, but he does a right hand, and down goes Hawthorne straight away. Elsewhere, beyond Inter Milan, but the Fiati.
Oh, what a point to end it on.
So now this is when they're at their best. It's when they're 12 years for this. So drink it in.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day, our lives are changed by history,
We are one people, all of us.
leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought a very family.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Welcome back. It's the Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. Of course, we'll bring you the latest revolving around the world of sports, and it's time for us to take a look at football on the show. Talk about the preparation of Team Nigeria ahead of the Paris Olympic game. They will be in action, of course, in Cameroon in a few days' time, and that will be another moment for them to prepare as well. Talk about, Aruna Quadri will be missing at the World Table Tennis Championship in Lagos. And I saw Emerald Kano, Naomi Osaka, Angelique Kerber, Carolyn Wozniacki getting a wild card for the Wimbledon. But it's time for you to bring you the latest in the world of football, and it's all about Victor Osimhen, as we hear that the Nigerian Football Federation hammer is dangling on to land on Osimhen, after the verbal attack on Finidi George. Michael, in days to come, we're going to be hearing the verdicts for the Nigerian Football Federation on Victor Osimhen due to that attack on Finidi George. And the question has been, what do you make of this one? What form of punishments do you expect, the Nigerian Football Federation to impose on Victor Osimhen?
Well, Kingsley, in as much as this issue has been overflowed, but then we can't actually, pay a deaf eye or pretend not to be aware of the magnitude of what Victor Osimhen did. I mean, it was a collective, I call it a collective insult on the sensibility of NFF. Not just NFF, but the sensibility of Nigerians. the Super Eagles supporters. Then, before you now narrow it down to Finidi George, it was a total embarrassment, a total shame. In fact, it's a sham, a national ignominy. If there is any other word that could be good enough to quantify the magnitude of the repugnant attitude of Victor Osimhen, I think for me it tells it all. I should have expected NFF to come out very strong. More than 48 hours after that embarrassing video which Osimhen posted on Instagram, where he went live to say a whole lot of unpredictable words against Finidi George. But the height of it all wasn't just about Finidi George. If you listen to the video carefully, before you get started, he said that if doing this is going to stop him from playing for the Super Eagles, then so be it. Then again, he went further to say that the Super Eagles is not his father's property. So when you take a deep listening carefully to some of this, his choice of words, we discover that it was a total embarrassment to the NFF, to the country at large, and for me, such act of indiscipline and unruly behavior need to be, punished. A severe punitive measure should be taken against Victor Osimhen, possibly ban him for a year from the national team, and that is going to serve as a deterrent to other players who might be thinking of towing such a line in future. Because if they don't wield a big stick against Victor Osimhen for what he's done, then in future time to come, when any other player get to do even worse than what he did, if NFF then decide to take an action against them, the same NFF will be blamed for not taking an action against what Victor Osimhen did right now. So if you ask me, I think NFF should have no other decision. They should not wait any longer than to take a punitive measure, like I've said, a serious punishment against Victor Osimhen, possibly a year ban. We've seen with this kind of similar incident, something that is not even worse or even near compared to what Victor Osimhen, the German and Bayern Munich legend, talking about Stefan Effenberg, in a certain match for his national team, he was subbed because he wasn't playing according to the expectation of the coach. When he was subbed, the fan booed him because he was not living up to the expectation. Guess what? He went out of the pitch and had to use his center finger to point to the crowd, and that is a sign of disrespect. He didn't say any word, but then his actions and inaction, his body language clearly tells it all, that it was an unruly behavior against him. He was banned for a complete 1 year away from the national team. So Victor Osimhen's own is even worse compared to what Stefan Effenberg did, and he was punished. We also saw a similar incident where Karim Benzema of the Les Bleus, the French national team, was also banned from the national team because of same unruly behavior within the national team squad. So if such players have been banned in time past, courtesy of one issue or the other, how much more Victor Osimhen, who went as far as insulting the whole country, insulting the whole Super Eagles and its fan, then again the coach as well. So Victor Osimhen have a track record of being insolence. We've seen it in time past where he also had an altercation with Victor Ikpeba, former international. Just because Victor Ikpeba said that some of the chances he missed in a certain game should have been converted. So I think for me, if NFF keep quiet, it's going to serve as a bad precedent for the national team and a bad precedent for NFF itself. So there is need for them to take a drastic action that is going to tame the excesses of Victor Osimhen.
Let's see how this one, of course, will go down. Really getting very, very serious, at the moment. Yes, I understand that the issue has been overflowed, but the NFF, of course, they want to take action, against Victor Osimhen for putting up that verbal attack, on Finidi George, as it is. But Michael, what do you make of it? What if he comes out to apologize? Should the NFF, and of course, still, land the hammer on him?
Yep, the apology will hold no water at this point in time. If he had done that less than 24 hours after that embarrassing video, that might be acceptable. Maybe because they will say, okay, maybe he had taken our time to possibly listen to what he said out there and also reprimand himself, and that is why he has come back to apologize after 24 hours. But this is how many days now? He haven't said anything. He has remained mute. Even when an ex-international in Odion Igalo in that same live video was telling him that, boy, it is okay, calm down, he was still adamant. We have other ex-players as well who also appeared in the same platform to tell him to calm down, it's enough. But he went on and on. So I think for me, if he decides to come back and apologize, I think that apology will hold no water for me, because if a serious action is not taken against Victor Osimhen, then it means that the image of the NFF, the image of the fans of Super Eagles have been soiled, and for me it would be unacceptable. No form of apology at this point in time, after 48 hours, after 24 hours, after how many days he has not come out to issue a public apology. Then it means that what he did is deliberate and intentional, and there's need for the NFF to also take a
played at a record extending 6 European Championship was denied by Stanek on 3 occasions as Portugal constantly looked to find the competition's all-time top scorer. Portugal won that tournament in 2016 to claim the trophy for the first time, and Captain Ronaldo said they deserve another, although they got off to a stuttering start in Germany. What do you make of Portugal first game? They were able, of course, to take out Czech Republic in this particular one.
Not a totally convincing one for me. Watching that game yesterday, the Czech Republic, they also give a good account of themselves. I want to also appreciate the coach of the Czech Republic side, despite the fact that they lost the game, not only 2-1, but the way he was able to set up his play was very, very good. They defended very good, and they were also very good in transition. They took their chances. It's just that they could not create more chances to have finished the game. If not, they scored the first goal. It was a very fantastic goal. You needed to see that goal. Wonderful from outside 18-yard shot. It was like a thunderbolt. So I think I give them kudos. But then Portugal struggled and equalized.
But they dominated the game.
They dominated that. You dominate the game without doing the needful, which is scoring the goals. What is the essence of you dominating game? After that goal, they came back, struggled. Thanks to the Czech keeper who also goofed and allowed that first goal to go in for the equalizer. If he has parried that ball away or catch that ball properly, I think Portugal should have found it even more difficult to come back into that game. But then it looked as though the game was heading for a walk.
They, of course, by to record to become the youngest player to score on their hero debut. The Real Madrid teenager Rex scored from range to make it 2-1 in the second half. At 19 years and 114 days, Gula is now the youngest player to score on his debut at the tournament. The record has been held by Ronaldo until now, who netted at 19 years and 128 days at Hero 2004 in a defeat to Greece. But away from that, Michael, today we saw not a very impressive result, you would say, for Croatia as they drew against Albania 2-2 draw. It ended.
Not an impressive performance. After losing their first game, you expect them to come back in their second game to fight with the last drop of their blood to get all 3 points, but it wasn't to be. I look as though age is beginning to tell on the Croatian side. The likes of Perisic, Luka Modric, Kovacic, name it. Age is gradually turning on that Croatian team, and there's need. And if you take a look at this Croatian team, over the past 8 years, these are the same crop of players. They have been together, did pretty well in 2018 World Cup, getting to finish second, the last World Cup, finishing in 3rd position. This is the same squad that have been, there over. So you look as though the squad is aging, and the coach need to start finding young replacements for some of these names, such as Luka Modric, Kovacic, Perisic, just naming Vlahovic. They just need to start looking for new name to replace some of these aging players, and that is their greatest undoing. Let's hope that they get to win their last game convincingly and then wait if other results will favor them. If not, it's looking likely that they may be heading out of the group stage.
Of course, not a very good result, you say, for the likes of Croatia. But as you speak, Germany currently leading Hungary by 2 goals today. Michael, we've seen goals, of course, coming from the likes of Jama Musiala and Ike Gundogan.
A great one for the home side. You expect them to do the needful, get all 3 points because they are playing at home, have great players as well. Some of their players will be, dancing the last dance, in quotes, with players like Thomas Muller, Toni Kroos. Possibly, maybe after this year's Euro, they may possibly decide to hang their boots. So I want to do everything possible to at least push their team to the final and see if they can be able to leave on a very high note.
Let's see how it goes, of course, for Germany, but so sad for Hungary, as of course they've lost 2 games now. If the result, of course, end this way in the competition, another disappointing outing, of course, for Hungary this time around. But we'll see Scotland against Switzerland as well tonight. But Michael, away from the heroes, is becoming a very shocking one at the moment, as Doma United they lost against Sunshine Stars today by 1 goal to 0, and that has actually reduced their chance of surviving relegation.
It's a heavy blow, very heavy blow. I don't know if this blow you can be able to take it without being punched back into the NNL. I still remain to be seen. They need to depend on the last result from other games. I think it is no longer within their reach. They need to start praying, start hoping that in the last matches of the day, maybe, just maybe, they will scale through. But it's not looking likely because we had some issues that their players have refused to train and all of that. There's problem in their camp. So it's a big problem for Doma United. But if you take a look at the way they started the league, it looked as though they were going places, but as the league continued to mature, it looked as though they are being sieved away from the main grain right now, which will be very, very disappointing if they go back to relegation.
Very disappointing, and we hear the players are not happy due to the fact that their salaries have not been paid. Some of them decided to skip training and all of that, but we hope for the best for Doma United, especially in their last match day. So it's now it's not going to get down to the wire. It's going to boil down to the final match day. I think the teams that will be relegated will be decided on the final match day. Now, since Doma United lost, they had 2 games to play. Now they've played 1 and they lost. So the last game in the league, that's match day 38, will decide which of the teams will be joining the likes of Gombe United and Heartland in the Nigerian National League. But Michael, one news, of course, keeps striking, and that's the news about Victor Osimhen going down to Arsenal Football Club. I don't know what you make of this move. We hear that there have been negotiations on ground. Napoli putting about 130 million euros, 120 million euros. But I think Arsenal, what they trying to do what they know how to do best by trying to go bargain very well. And at this point, first of all, Arsenal, Osimhen to Arsenal, that's a very good match.
Well, for Premier League supporters here in the country, it's a good match. But for me, we should be thinking about what the chances that Victor Osimhen have in winning major laurels at Arsenal, and the chances he will have when he get to PSG, because PSG as well is also pursuing Victor Osimhen's signature. So I'm trying to juxtapose the chances of Victor Osimhen winning a major laurels for these 2 clubs, PSG and Arsenal. I know many of our fans here who want Victor Osimhen to go to Arsenal. Why? Because the English Premier League, their timing is comfortable with us. We can watch the English Premier League. Of course, the English Premier League is one of the most exciting leagues in the world. and that is why every attention and attractions is directed toward the Premier League. So we will be happy to see Victor Osimhen at Arsenal, week in, week out, playing champion football. But then, trophy-wise, can Arsenal win the league? Can Arsenal win the Champions League? Can Arsenal win major laurels within 2 or 3 years' time? So that Victor Osimhen doesn't just go to Arsenal and end up earning a huge salary without any major silverware to show for it. But it will be certain that if he get to PSG, League One, definitely, within the space of 2 years, he is sure of winning the League One. Champions League will be a constant variables. Arsenal, don't forget, after 6 years, Arsenal just came back to Champions League. But PSG have been everly constant in the Champions League because of the way the League One is structured. There is no way you tell me that every season that PSG will be struggling to finish second or even third. No. So that is the angle I'm looking at it. And of course, do PSG need him? Of course they do. PSG doesn't have an outright striker as it stands right now after Mbappe left. Arsenal too need him because Arsenal doesn't have an outright striker because the likes of Gabriel Jesus is not a natural striker. It's not a natural center forward. So if you ask me, I think Victor Osimhen, PSG will fit him perfectly.
Okay. Let's see how it goes. We'll keep our fingers crossed and see how it goes in the coming days. Will Victor Osimhen move down to Arsenal Football Club? We'll just wait and see. But Michael, we have to call it a wrap on the show this evening.
Yeah, we do truly have to call it a wrap and leave the rest for tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 7 a.m., I'll be back on for Sports Talk, and of course, promises to be an exciting one. But at this point, of course, don't forget, peace and unity always are the pathways to progress. You can go down to our social media handles. The conversation continues right there. My name is Kingsley Manuel. Thanks for watching.
Right hand, and down goes